in this race. What's the secret of your success?
Well, because what we're trying to do is like we're change agents. We're trying to say, and everybody can see, especially the youth, can see that something is wrong. And we're saying we want to change the situation. A country cannot continue on this trajectory that leading to nowhere, that produced poverty, that impoverished the people, and everything contributed to joblessness, the decision of the people and everything. So for us, it we see that we can change the situation. And that's what we're offering.
We've seen candidates like you in the past, not as young as you perhaps, but who come here and make big promises and have big plans, and yet often it ends up the same, an administration mired in corruption. How can yours be different?
You need to look at their background, their track record. If you look at the endorsement of the former president, Obis, he said, I'm doing so based on his track record of integrity. I've been able to serve where I was able to save government resources. I can say this when I'm talking. Nobody put a gun on my head and say, save $150 million. Nobody put a gun in my head and say, save 30 billion. What I left behind when I left office was about $500 million. That is inconceivable and never imagined in a country like that. And I did it on my own. So if you need to look at the record, so what I promised will be like what I promised in the past, and I delivered it.
There are though questions about undeclared offshore companies you're alleged to have in the British Virgin Islands, and your campaign chief was convicted of money laundering. Are you different to all the predecessors, or are you as corrupt as they are?
What you ask me now have been contested in court. I lived in the UK before I became governor. My family lived in the UK. I was a businessman between Nigeria and the UK. And in process of that business, I have built a reasonable portfolio where I have investments in various companies globally, have a house in London and everything. When I became governor, all those assets were put in a trust, which is a legitimate means of saving and generational fund transfer to my family. And when I was asked that question, I said, go and investigate whatever is on that trust, and you can see that legitimately earned money, most of which I had before I became governor, or serving in public space. Like I told somebody this morning that I bought a house in 1996. That's 10 years before I became governor. Being in public office doesn't say I will throw away whatever I have. It's like you today. If you are put in public office, you are not going to throw away whatever you have. And I'm not going to throw it away. But it's there to be investigated, and I cannot tell you, you can investigate it. I will open it up for you to investigate. Everybody is free to investigate it. So it's not a question of saying this. I left $150 million. I left about equivalent to Naira of $200 million. Another $150 million invested. Nobody asked me. The money in this trust is just about 1 or 2% of what I left. So if I wanted, I'll take as much as that. And nobody had done it before. So all those issues of trying to do this. As for my campaign DG, whatever happened with him is not me. It's an issue that happened before he became my campaign DG, and which happened that he received money which he was paid for a purpose, and he used for the purpose. There's no way he has opportunity of knowing maybe money is being paid for services, is stolen money. However, I'm not defending him. I've defended myself, and I'm giving you a sky open invitation to investigate my trust. And you will see it's legitimate. Trust is owned by everyone. I'm not the only person who was mentioned in Pandora case. Several British politicians, including ex-prime ministers, were mentioned there. But my British people have said their tips. I pay my tax. I live a legitimate life. It's like when I didn't file for my company, and my company was struck out, they say, oh, British government struck out of this company. If you don't want company again, you stop filing. And if you don't file, it was struck out. They didn't say the company stole money. They didn't say company stole, but they want to blame because they can't find fault.
Let me ask you a rather selfish British question.
Yes.
You're here to meet British ministers. What would you as president do for relations with Britain? And why should British people care about an election in Nigeria, do you think?
Because it's important to them. We have 200 million people, which if the economy changed today, is a huge market for Britain. It is critical for them. As Britain exits European Union, they need Commonwealth members in order to continue to be, and they're the biggest. So today, you talk about India and Nigeria. Nigeria is a small country. It's a country that has potential to add to the value of the economy. They need that space. They need that market, to control their economy. The economy too have problems. So they need to help us in order to, it's like a bank account. You can't withdraw without putting anything in. So I'm asking them to come and pay something in now that we are going through struggle. So when we come out of that struggle, they will benefit from it.
Can you help a post-Brexit Britain?
By ensuring good governance and better-led country, Nigeria, that will be prosperous and be able to keep the relationship going.
Just one last question. There's a lot of concern this year, there has been over the last year or so, about the state of democracy. Nigeria is a huge democracy. How healthy is democracy, do you think, in Nigeria and elsewhere in the world?
Well, democracy, I'll compare Nigeria first, it's been largely transactional, which have brought us to where we are. And the youth are seeing that and saying, well, listen, we've had it in the past and it didn't help us. Now maybe we'll do this differently and see if it's going to help us. And what Daddy and I is offering is, we will help you to build a better country. And we are committed to it. There's no alternative to democracy, actually. The other alternative is worse.
It's a huge job. Are you ready for it?
Very prepared for it.
Not daunting?
Well, it's daunting. Everything in life is daunting. But people have to solve it. That is what I'm doing. It's daunting as it is. We will solve it and be able to turn around the country.
Thank you very much. Very good to meet you.
Okay. Chairman, sir.
Yes.
Nice meeting you again.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
What's your impression about the...
Well, you can see for yourself that it's a great outing.
Yes.
We believe that the presidential candidates have elucidated and successfully told the world what he can do.
Yes.
We believe that Labour Party and its presidential candidate has the best of programs to be able to change the economic and political narrative in Nigeria. We believe that we have the best of programs, we have the best of personnel to be able to drive the process of development. And by the grace of God, by the time we win next month, within the first 100 days in office, Nigerians will begin to see the difference. Amen. They will see a new Nigeria, they will see the new personnel, and they will see development in action. Amen. Thank you so much.
Yeah. We need to. Okay. Everybody come out. He's going. He's going. He's going. Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. It's going. Bye, everyone.